The episode begins like a completely ordinary day. Morning sunlight shines through the window and the familiar cheerful music plays. Peppa and George are having breakfast, Daddy Pig is reading his newspaper, and Mummy Pig is pouring juice. Everything feels calm and familiar. After breakfast, Mummy says they will go to school, then to the shop, and in the evening they will visit the museum. Peppa is excited about the busy day ahead. At school, everything starts normally. Madame Gazelle is standing at the board and the children are sitting at their desks. But when the camera slightly pans toward the window, Miss Rabbit can be seen for a brief second standing in the corner of the classroom. She is completely still, writing something in a notebook. Peppa waves at her. "Hello, Miss Rabbit," she says. Miss Rabbit slowly turns her head and calmly replies, "I'm always here, Peppa." There is no emotion in her voice, just a flat, even sentence. Peppa looks confused because Miss Rabbit usually works in other places, but none of the other children react. After school, the family goes to the supermarket. Miss Rabbit is standing behind the register. The same smile, the same posture. "Hello, Miss Rabbit," Peppa says again. "I am always here, Peppa," Miss Rabbit replies in the exact same tone. Peppa frowns slightly, but Daddy Pig laughs and says, "Miss Rabbit is very hard-working." Then the family gets on a bus. The driver is Miss Rabbit. She doesn't even look at the road. Her eyes stare straight ahead, barely blinking. "I am always here, Peppa," she says again when Peppa greets her. The intonation perfectly matches the previous scenes. Even the pause before the words is identical. At the museum, the tour guide is Miss Rabbit. At the cafe, Miss Rabbit. In the park, the ice cream seller, Miss Rabbit. With each appearance, her voice sounds more mechanical. The background music gradually becomes quieter, the colors slightly fade, and her smile seems wider than it should be. Peppa begins to notice something strange. She asks Daddy Pig, "How does Miss Rabbit manage to be everywhere?" Daddy laughs a little longer than usual and replies, "She's just very organized." But his laughter sounds unnatural, as if the same audio clip is repeating at the same volume. The next day, everything repeats, but faster. Peppa goes to the park and sees 3 Miss Rabbits at once. One sitting on a bench, one in the kiosk, and one at the other end of the path. They don't move. Slowly, they turn their heads toward Peppa. "I am always here," they say, almost at the same time. The sound distorts slightly. That evening, Peppa looks out of her bedroom window. On the distant hill stands a silhouette with long ears. It does not move. Peppa blinks, and the silhouette disappears. She turns back toward the window, and for a split second, she sees Miss Rabbit reflected in the glass behind her. When Peppa spins around, the room is empty. At night, Peppa wakes up with the feeling that someone is in the house. She steps into the dark hallway. At the end of it stands a figure. It is Miss Rabbit. She does not move. Her eyes are open, staring directly at Peppa. "I am always here," she quietly repeats. The lights flicker, and the figure disappears. In the morning, everything seems normal again. School, lessons, children laughing. But when recess begins, Peppa notices that every adult on the playground is Miss Rabbit. The vendor, the driver, the guard, they stand completely still. Then, all at once, they turn their heads toward Peppa. Their smiles are identical. "I am always here, Peppa," they say in unison. The music disappears completely. Peppa steps backward. Her breathing becomes faster. She looks for her parents, but for a brief moment their faces seem to resemble Miss Rabbit. The same eyes, the same smile. The camera abruptly cuts. The family is back at home. Everything is quiet. Daddy Pig is reading his newspaper. Mummy Pig is cooking dinner. And George is playing. A commercial plays on the television. On the screen appears Miss Rabbit. She looks directly into the camera. She does not blink. She slowly smiles. "I am always here." The screen distorts for a second. The final shot shows the pig family's house at night. In one of the windows, a dark silhouette with long ears appears for a brief moment. The light goes out.